Hey. It is that time yet again from Friday. Lunch with Miss Gillian. You know what? I'm going to stop saying lunch with Miss Gillian. You know why? Because I be posting this video like dinner time. So I'm going to stop saying lunch with Miss Gillian. But it is Fun Friday with Miss Gillian. And I am your host, Samantha. Before we get started, let me go ahead and give you my disclaimer. Like I told you all, anyone that knows me personally, I always tell you to pray about everything that I discuss. So I'm going to also encourage my listeners as well. Pray about everything that I discuss. I am a vessel that works for the kingdom of God. In 1 John 4, the very first chapter, it basically states, test the spirit. Do not take everything that I say as your word. It may or may not be your word. God may be speaking directly to you and he may not. So please pray about everything that I say, because I am nobody's God. I am just Samantha with a bunch of children that God gave me and a bunch of issues that God helped me through, and I'm trying to help y'all. So test the spirit. What is our topic today? Our topic today is the importance of showing up. Guys, if you choose not to show up, you have no voice. So let's get into the topic. Our story today stems from the parable of the 10 virgins, right? It is found in Matthew chapter 25, verses 1 through 13. I'm not going to read it because I'm just not. I've been encouraging you all to go and read your Bible on your own, and this is a perfect example. Go read your Bible. Okay, so anyways, basically the story, and I'm going to synopsis it up Sammy K style. Okay, y'all don't know Sammy K, y'all meet her in a minute. But anyways, I'm gonna do it anyway. Basically, what it is this is the story of 10 virgins, right? Basically, all of them were given an invitation to go to a wedding, right? Everybody was invited. Not one of them was excluded. They all was invited. They got the inbox ding. You have been invited to the wedding on blah, blah, blah day at blah, blah, blah time. All right. Now, all 10 of the women went and got their oil lamps, right? Now, the kicker is the lamps were only able to be lit by oil. So 5 of the virgins decided that, got to get this extra oil because, just in case we may be, out loud, just in case, somebody having an issue with the bounce or whatever. Let me go and get my extra oil so I can be prepared, right? The other 5 women, unfortunately, only had the oil that they put in their lamp that morning or that afternoon or whatever time they had to be at the party. They only had the oil that they needed to burn their lamps currently, right? Okay, so for whatever reason, it took forever for them to get inside, bringing it up to modern day style. I don't know if somebody got into a fight, if they shut the club down for a minute, if the wedding had some issues or whatever the case may be. They wind up falling asleep, right? Falling asleep, waiting to get into this particular wedding, okay? But at midnight, somebody came through and was like, all right, they didn't open up the doors again. Y'all come on, let's go. Well, the 5 ladies that were prepared, they just added their little extra oil, went on and went in. The other 5 ladies was like, dang, we out of oil for our lamps. What, can we borrow some of yours? And the other ladies was like, no, you should have bought your own, boat. This my oil, and I need this oil because I don't know if we're going to be stuck again. So I need my oil. And so the other 5 ladies, they left. They went to go and get them some more oil, I guess at the corner store, whatever the case may be. They left and went to go get them some more oil. All right. While they were gone, the people came in, got the other 5 ladies. They was able to get in, close the door, and shut the doors, locked them. I guess they reached capacity for the night of the wedding. When the other 5 girls got back, the doors were shut for good. They out there beat knocking. We have our invitations. We got proof. We here. We got all this stuff that says that we was invited to this event, but they were not able to get in because the doors were locked. Now, so many people use this particular parable, to talk about being prepared. And yes, you do need to be prepared. But I'm going to twist it. I want to talk about what happens when you ain't prepared for whatever reason and the door and the meeting goes on without you. That's what I want to talk about. What happens with whatever reason you was not prepared, whatever reason you could not show up, the meeting still happens. Because whatever was going to happen in that party, it was happening without them 5 girls. I had their invitation. They knew what time to be there, but for whatever reason, they did not have their oil. So that's what we talking about today. What happens? The importance of being at the meeting. Now, y'all always know I'm a teacher, right? So I like to make people think. Right? That's how I've been trained, to make the mind think. So, of course, I got a question. My first question is, why do you think that your excuses validate your absence? I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that. Why do you think that your excuse validates you for being absent? Samantha, why do you say that? I say that because I know some people had some meetings this week. I know some people had some meetings this year. And the way meetings occur is basically you receive something in your inbox, right? Whatever it is, whatever it may be. These women knew that they were invited to this wedding because why? They had to receive some form of information prior to the night that said you are invited. And it is this time. So when you receive that type of information and whatever happens prevents you, or whatever your excuse is, it overrides you being present, why do you think that you're validated for not being there? I just want to. Why? You knew prior, right, that it was going to happen. You knew that you were going to need oil in your lamp. I mean, for whatever reason you didn't get it, but you knew that you were going to need oil. So these women's excuses of not being able to get in was, we ran out of oil. But you knew when you left the house that you was going to need oil to keep your lamp lit. I could just hear the women now. I was going to get the oil, but see what had happened was when I went to go grab the extra oil, my baby had knocked it over. And so all I had was the oil that was in my lamp, and I didn't want to be late. I didn't want to stop at the store and get no oil on the way. And so I just came. I didn't know it was going to take this long. That's fine. But that's an excuse. The other excuse I could hear, man, see, I saw the oil sitting on the table. I saw it. It was sitting on the table. I was trying to grab my books, grab my bag, grab my this, and I forgot it. Still an excuse. I could hear another one saying, I had my extra oil, I had my everything, I got in my car and my car wouldn't start. And I had to walk all the way to get here. You didn't think to grab your oil as you was walking? So I know that sounds harsh, but I want you all to really think about that. We miss so many major important events because of excuses. That's all they are. You knew when that came in you knew when you got that stuff in your inbox Those 5 women, let's talk about those 5 women. When they got that invitation, they wrote it down in their calendar. They were prepared. They had their oil. They had their lamps ready. They got their dress together because the meeting, whatever was behind that door, was important to them. And they was not going to miss it for nothing. Those other women, not saying it wasn't important to them, because it could have been important, but it wasn't as important as their excuse. Their excuse was more important than them being fully prepared to make it to their meeting. My second question is, who is affected by your absence? All right. Now, I can go for both sides in this, because the people in the wedding are affected because they prepared for a total of 10 women and only 5 show up. Meaning that they overspent on food, overspent on drinks, or whatever else that they gonna have in the wedding that they prepared for a total of a certain amount of people, that they are now 5 less. Not only that, when we're talking about a meeting, I'm speaking in regards to the people that actually make it to the attendance. They are put in a position to where they're having to be the voice for those that are not there. They're having to think in a way to where they can hope that they're including their thoughts, but no one can really think for someone else. So what do you mean? When you're in a meeting of whatever sort, and you're in a position to where you're trying to make a final decision, you're in a position to where you're trying to make a decision for not only yourself, but for your absence party. Therefore, you're in a position to where you're having to think doubly hard, because you're trying to see, am I being fair with what I want, and also what this one may or may not want. So they were infected, because once those women got into that wedding, those 5 women, I'm quite certain that they were asked, where your friends? Well, where'd they go? Well, do you think that they will be back in about an hour? We can leave the doors open for about another hour. Well, do you think that, if they get here in about another hour and 30 minutes, they may want a Coke. Do you think that they like Coke? So you're in a position to where you can't really fully dedicate yourself wholly to the meeting, because you're still in a position to where you're attempting to make decisions for someone in their absence. Because when they ask you questions like, you think they'd be here in about an hour? You don't know. You sitting there like, man, I really don't know if they'll be here in about an hour. They said it was going to the corner store to get some oil. I could try to call them real quick and see if they're there. But in the event, if they don't call, not call, if they don't answer when you contact them, you're in a position to where you blindly making a response, because you don't know. You like, I don't know if they like Coke or not. They didn't answer the phone, but if I guess people like Coke different ways. Some may want it with ice, some may not want it with ice. So they're in a position to where they are having to be fillers. Now, in regards to the 5 women that were not there, they're also affected because major decisions are being made that they don't have a voice in. Someone is making a decision for them that they may or may not agree with. It's okay if you give me Coke, but I would prefer Sprite. But because they're not a voice in the room, that decision is being made without their final say-so. Also, they can't, telling somebody, oh, I think they'll be here in about an hour, keep the doors open for another hour. They may need an hour and 10 minutes. So they're also effective as well, because they're in a position to where they don't have a voice in the room that they were invited to. Now, my next question, and I just want to be an advocate for the women that were not able to make it in, is what is one way that they could have communicated or been a voice in their absence? What is a good way that they could have done that? They could have told those women, look, I'm going to be gone for 30 minutes. If you could just talk to such and such and let them know that, I will be in 30 minutes. Just give me 30 minutes. Or in a case to where if you know that you're going to be absent for whatever is going on in your job or whatever's going on at your work, or if you can't be present at whatever the meeting is, how about sending an email to whoever the admin of the meeting is, basically saying, look, I know we're meeting on blah, blah, blah day at ABC time. I'm not going to be able to be there because of whatever your excuse is, but I want you to know that I have been working on this project and this is what I've come up with if you would like to bring this to the table during the meeting. That's another way to be a voice. You can also be a voice where you can just basically say, look, I'm not going to be able to come. I understand that this is what's going on, but if you all, I may not be able to be as present, but if you all give me a call, I will answer during the meeting. That way you're communicating to your party that you may not be able to come, but I'm still available and this is what I already have. That way when decisions are made, you're still included in the decisions. You may not actually be present at the time, but because everyone kind of has a general idea of your thought process, then they can say, well, such and such said this or such and such has that. So let's just think about that for a minute and then we will get back with them whenever we get done and let them know what's going on. But if you don't tell anybody anything, how are they supposed to know what you was thinking? They don't know what you was thinking because you didn't say nothing. So I just want to leave you all with this nice, kind thought. In the event that you are invited in the future to a meeting or a wedding or an event or a party or what have you, and your excuse outweighs you being present, whatever is discussed during your absence, you have no opinion on. You cannot change it. You cannot waver it because you have chosen not to be present, or you have chosen not to fully back it up and communicate with whomever to let them know this is where I'm not going to be here, but this is what I've done. Because it's not fair to those that are having to be a voice for you in your absence. It's not fair for them to have to sit in the meeting and hammer out what they're thinking and also what you're thinking and come up with a decision that they feel will be the best for the entire party with who is actually present. And then you think because of an excuse, you can come change it. No. Whatever the excuse was that prevented you from being there, whatever it may be, you have no opinion on the final decision that is made. Okay, that is all we have for today, guys. I just want to give a special shout out to all of my Relentless couples. Thank you so much for being a part of our ad for Relentless. I want you all to know that soon we are going to drop this merchandise and I am so excited. Because in this walk, this faith walk, guys, you have got to remain relentless. You've got to be sure of what you're going to do for the Lord, honey. And what you got to have that faith. If the Lord told you it was going to happen, baby, it's going to happen. But you got to stay relentless in your prayer and relentless in what you're doing to reach your goal. So until next time, live your life in your best relentless fashion. I'll see you all next week.
What does it mean to be relentless? Being relentless means that you will stop at nothing to achieve your goal. Remember to live your life in a relentless fashion.
And remember to watch, pray, and share. Watch, pray, and share, please. Thank you.